morning, everybody. Happy Motivation Monday. See a lot of you guys tuning in this morning. That is awesome. This is Trainer Nick checking in with you guys. Happy Monday morning. Today is Monday, September 14th. Hope you all had a good weekend. Had that 3-day weekend last weekend. Now finally getting back in the swing of things. Hopefully you guys were able to wake up ready to kill it on this Monday morning. So guys, we're going to go ahead and get started here. My quote for the day is a fun one here by Winston Churchill. However beautiful the strategy, you should occasionally look at the results, right? And this goes for anybody in the industry, but definitely as you're newer in this industry and you come in and you start thinking, I got this new way of doing something, right? I'm going to try this and this is going to work. And oftentimes we're not doing a good enough job tracking how is that really working, right? And holding ourselves accountable to our actions there. So we need to make sure that we're not only coming up with creative strategies in our business, but constantly reviewing the results and making sure that those things are working for us, right? Cool. So let's go ahead and get started here, guys. Happy Motivation Monday here. So this week we got some tips of the week, sales shout outs for our sales leaders this week. This week I'm going to go over effective phone prospecting. So, with us being so close to open enrollment here, it's kind of time to start dusting off the old phone voice, getting ready to go, right? We are going to be prospecting heavy for the next couple months here. And so I want to make sure that we're talking about prospecting right now, talking about being on the phones, getting your mind right for that. So that's what this whole training is going to be about today. Okay. And then at the end, there will be the survey. Okay. All right. So my tip of the week, guys, some of you may have already seen this. If you've been in National General's coverage, but if you've been quoting in NatGen, you might have seen this new preferred rates coming up, right? Sometimes on the short-term plans, you're going to see 2 different rates now. So this is huge. I don't want you guys to not know what's going on here. NatGen has now rolled out new preferred rates to customers that fit a select set of qualifications, right? So we have our normal underwriting questions on any short-term application. Well, now there's an extra 4 or 5, and the first qualifier of that is that they had previous health coverage, okay? And so you'll see a new checkbox in there to check if they've had previous health coverage. Well, if they have, and if you check that box, you're going to see now in the quoting, short-term is going to have 2 prices. It's going to have its normal price, and then this small price under it that's a reduced price there. So to get that, there will be a little blue box at the top that says check availability for rates, and if you click that, it'll pull up the 4 or 5 requirements that are needed to get those preferred rates to see if your customer can qualify for those. So those are huge, guys. I mean, we're talking a significant chunk off of the price for our customers on those short-term plans. So make sure that you review those. Make sure it's something that you're looking over. Jump in there, jump in the quoting, play around with that, see what those requirements are, because that's going to be huge to add to your list there. When you're prospecting on these calls, you might even have a better product to offer a customer, or a cheaper product to offer than you even originally had anticipated there if they can qualify for these preferred rates. So make sure that you guys look up these preferred rates, make sure you're aware of how they work, so that you can see if your customer fits in those situations, okay? All righty, so sales leaders for last week, a lot of UHC, but that's because it's the beginning of the month here, right? We just finished the month of August. We are now in September, so it's the beginning of the month. We get a lot of UHC stuff coming through, and so you'll see UHC, golden rule, tops of short-term, limited med, accident, and dental. Critical illness still seem to be led by NatGen there, so that's good. We are seeing a pretty nice push for NatGen dental, especially in the 5 states that the new dental vision plan is. So check that out if you guys aren't writing it already, but that is there. And then our sales leaders in the company for last week. Short term, we had Evan Tunis, Daniel Riss, and Glenn Shane. So great job there, guys. Wonderful week. Limited Med, Sarah Fry and Timothy Brown. And then Accident, Sarah Fry again. And we got Arthur Walsh in here. So great job this past week to our sales leaders. Oops, great job to everybody that was selling. So let's jump into phone prospecting now, right? Let me just make sure I'm on the right slide for y'all. Yeah, I am. Okay. So now we're going to jump into the meat and potatoes of what this is all about today, guys, right? We're trying to get our heads wrapped around phone prospecting. And it really is about getting our heads wrapped around it, right? There's so much that goes into phone prospecting. Sometimes somebody's just missing the right line, right? The right rebuttal. Sometimes it's your whole mentality's off. And we gotta look at the mentality. Sometimes you have hiccups in your process and you're not even certain that they're there. And so a lot of this is going through your process and trying to clean up some of the excess and try to make it work better for you, okay? So number one thing in effective prospecting here, guys, is starting prepared. But this is so deep here, guys, okay? This is way more than, okay, well, I've got my phone and I've got my, guys, this is starting prepared on a mental level, an emotional level, and starting prepared from an office level, right? Be sure that you're sitting down ready to take notes when you're doing prospecting. Have your customers' information in front of you. Have your quoting platforms up and ready for you, right? Guys, it's amazing how many times I'll go to offices and I'll see somebody calling prospect and they're just walking around their office. That's cool. I mean, I'm a walking talker too, but do you have the quoting platform ready on your computer? Are you ready to go if this customer needs a quote? Right now, a lot of customers are just looking for quotes. Are you able to get that to them quickly, right? You need to be prepared before even picking up that phone, okay? This kind of goes into that, a little bit of what I was saying though. So guys, you have to have a heart to help, and this is that mentality game, right? On the phones, guys, if you can really get into your head that I'm just here to help, you're excited. I get to wake up every morning and help better people's lives, right? Like when you kind of have that perspective on it, when you kind of have, I am here to help other people, it also helps you through those tough phone calls, right? Those hard customers that we're just having trouble getting through to. If you kind of switch your mentality up and you're only here to help them, right? It really helps you because now you're practicing indifference, right? Look, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, whether you buy from me or not, I don't, that's not going to change anything for me. I really am just here to help you and your family understand a very difficult industry, right? And something you guys need. This is one of the most important monthly bills that you're going to have out there, right? I mean, you got your mortgage and then probably your health insurance, right? I'd probably put this above your car payment. So this is very important stuff, and it's helping people make a really, really important decision for their families. You have to have a heart to help here, guys. We're not burning and churning. We're not trying to get these guys, oh, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, next sale, right? We're really here to help. And then the other thing, before you even get started, guys, before you even get started on the phones, you have to be in a positive mindset. Now, I play these little games with myself, even on Monday morning, like we're at right now. I wake up on Monday morning and I'm telling myself this week is going to be amazing. We're going to kill it this week. We're going to touch some people's lives this week. I mean, this is going to be a great week. And you have to position your mind that way, guys. Same thing when you're jumping in on these calls Monday morning. This Monday is going to be amazing. I'm going to help so many people find their health insurance today. I can't wait to see who gives me the opportunity to help them today, right? And guys, telling ourselves these little things helps. You don't get, when you're putting good in, you're getting good out, right? When you're putting bad in, you're getting bad out. So if you guys are constantly reaffirming positivity in your life, you're reading good, you're going and getting motivational quotes, you're telling yourself good, it comes out. I'm telling you, you will see this 24/7 throughout your business, but you have to be the positive mindset because you're going to hit those difficult customers. I know this is hard to hear, but a lot of these customers just don't want to talk to you, right? You have to give them a reason to want to talk to you. And sometimes it's about breaking down those walls, and sometimes just over the top positivity and having that heart to help can really go a long way there. Okay. All right. So all of that was mindset, right? Everything there is mindset. You got to have the mindset to be prepared ahead of time, have all your stuff in line. You got to have that positive mindset, right? You have to have that heart to help. And so all of this before the call is getting your mind right? Are you not, hopefully I'm driving this home, right? You have to get your mind right. You see the guy staring at the phone. I think that's been all of us once or twice, right? Just that phone is a little bit more intimidating than it really should be, right? It's just a conversation on the other end. And yeah, some of those people don't want to talk to you. Some of them do, but it's just a conversation on the other end. Nobody's going to kill you. Nobody's going to bite your head off. So, a lot of it is getting your mind right, being positive, being ready to help. Get any bad stuff out of there, guys. Any bad stuff out of it. I know brokers that listen to an upbeat song before doing prospecting sometimes. Just get your mind right? Whatever. I mean, do some NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, right? No, but whatever it is that helps you get your mind right, you have to, guys. You have to get the bad out of there. If your previous call that you were just on was a rough one and it was a little trying, maybe you don't hop on that next call immediately, right? Give yourself 5 minutes. Go for a walk. If you're a smoker, take a smoke break. If you're a drinker, go take a shot. No, but get your mind right? Sometimes it's, if you just had a rough call, it might not be worth it to jump into that next call, because if your mind's not right, you just wasted that phone call anyway. That customer is going to sense that in you, and it's a waste of time anyway, right? So before every single call, clear your mind, right? Another thing on getting your mind right, guys, don't pre-qualify these customers, okay? I hear too many people pre-qualifying. Well, this lead's a month old, or this person's been called already, or da-da-da-da-da. Don't ever be the one to pre-qualify. You have no idea how many sales I got on a 2-month-old lead, and it was just because they stopped answering their phone because they were getting blown up for a couple months straight, right? And then they finally answered when I called 2 months later. I said, hey, just doing some spring cleaning. Wanted to see if you still needed help with your health insurance. They're like, oh my God, Nick, yeah, I do. I was just getting destroyed on my phone for weeks there. So, oh my God, not a problem. That happens sometimes. I'm sorry about that. Well, how can I help you? What are you looking at? It opens up to you. So don't ever pre-qualify. You got to get your mind right that every customer is an opportunity here. Be ready to work's huge, guys. Be ready to work is so big. And I guess I'll just show the next one since I already said don't pre-qualify. But guys, this is so important on being ready to work, right? So often you'll come into the office and say, hey, I start work today at 10 o'clock, and you haven't made a single call at 11 o'clock, right? You're not ready to work. Be ready to work when you get there at 10 o'clock, right? You guys, when you worked for somebody else back in your day, right? When you worked that customer service job on the phones at a bank or wherever it was you were working, when you were there at 8 o'clock, you were on the phones at 8 o'clock, right? If you're going to work that hard for somebody else, why wouldn't you do it for yourself, right? And so often I think we're a little too lenient on ourselves as our bosses and as our managers, right? We're like, you're doing fine, Nick. We'll get them at 11. We'll get them at 11:30. Oh, now lunch is coming right around the corner. And we're a little bit too nice on ourselves, too easy. Remember the effort that you used to give for that company that you didn't even own, right? You got to give that same effort for yourself. And so be ready to work when you get there. Before the call, be ready. Get your systems up. Have your quoting engines up, right? Have anything that's applicable to this customer, have the customer's information up. Be ready to verify it. If you use a gathering sheet, If you're taking notes, have your notepad up, but have everything ready when it's time to work, right? Be ready ahead of time. When I used to do customer service, I'd be at work 15 minutes early so that I was ready at start time. Treat yourself that same way. Okay, guys? This is probably, in my opinion, for my book, this is probably the most important one and what's helped me the most. And this is knowing my role in the sales process, especially when I'm prospecting with clients, right? Now, my role, guys, and your role needs to be the role of advisor, right? We aren't salespeople. And sometimes it's hard when you come over here, especially if you've been doing sales your whole life. It's hard to get that sales part out of here. But we are not a salesperson. I'm here to educate you and then to advise you. But at the end of the day, it's your decision for your family. And every family is different out there, right? Every family needs something a little bit different. So it's really important for us to be a good advisor. We have to ask the right questions. We have to uncover the right pain, okay? It's so important, guys. And so simple questions in here, right? What do you like about your current health insurance plan? Or if you want to go right for the jugular, right for the pain, what did you not like about your last health insurance plan? Or what do you hate about it? If you could wave a magic wand and change one thing about your current plan, what would that be? Right? Guys, there's some really good questions that you have to learn to roll into your flow to uncover that client's pain. And they should be super simple, open-ended questions where you just say a few words and then shut up and let the customer tell you, right? And so, yeah, when was the last time you had health insurance? Okay, what didn't you like about that plan? Like what made you stop having it? What is it that was not working on that plan? And then shut up. And then when they're done talking, when they give you their answer, here's a really good trick. This is this magic open-ended question. And then what? Or tell me more, right? Guys, people don't use those enough, but those are questions, right? Those are open-ended questions. So I just asked you, what didn't you like about your plan? And you just went and gave me a 2-minute answer. I said, okay, what else? They're going to talk more. Customers love talking. And guys, this is one of the easy ways to uncover all of the pain that they might not be telling you. You're now building rapport because you are embracing that role as an advisor. Your customers love talking. Everybody loves talking, guys, right? Who wouldn't want my job? We all love talking. If you can get your clients talking, they're already trusting you. They know that you're here with their interests at heart, right? Because that's so big. And the whole thing here, guys, the whole thing that we're trying to do is help clients resolve their issues, right? And so those questions are the most important thing. It's letting your client know right up front, I'm not here to sell you anything. I can shop all the carriers and plans out there. I just need to know a little bit about you, your family, and how you use your health insurance so that I can make sure that we put you in the best plan for your needs, okay? And then when you're uncovering those issues, it's super easy to resolve those issues. And then when you resolve those issues, presenting the sale is super easy, right? When you're presenting a sale and your product or your plan that you're offering takes care of all 3 of those huge pain points that they hated on their last plan, you can write it up already. You know, that's done. They've got their credit card out, they're ready to go. So big thing though, guys, you have to embrace the role of advisor. Get sales out of your head. It's more, I'm here to help. Here to help. All right, this is probably the tough one, right? For a lot of people over the phone, this is the tough part. I didn't do overcoming objections. That's something all of you have probably seen or heard or read at some point and another, is overcoming objections. I purposely changed it to understanding objections, right? This is so important, guys. You're going to get no on the phone. These people weren't waiting to talk to you, right? They weren't oh my God, Nick, thank you so much for calling. I've just been sitting by my phone for the last week, just waiting for you to call and talking about health insurance. That's not going to happen too often, right? So we have to understand these objections. Why are they happening? What's going on? And don't be so startled when they happen. Know they're going to happen. Expect them to happen. Just understand them. What's going on here? And it might help with that positive mindset, right? Keeping your head right. So the first thing is we have to figure out what's important to the client, right? When they're giving you an objection, it's because it didn't take care of something important to them, right? So we really, that's again, these questions. So when somebody tells you no, you have to have a rebuttal ready. And one of my favorite brokers that I talk to a lot, he uses positive adjectives every time somebody gives him a no or gives him an objection. He says, Carlos, no, that plan's not going to work for me, man. It's just way too expensive. He goes, oh, awesome, man. Not a problem whatsoever. Carlos, you know what, man? It doesn't have any prescription coverage, so I can't do it. You know, that's fantastic, Bob. I can take care of that. Everything that he gets a no or pushback on, that's fantastic. That's awesome. Hey, not a problem whatsoever. Everything is positive. And the reason being, guys, he's viewing the objections as directions, right? The customer's not telling you, no, get off my phone. He's saying, Nick, if you can, I like what you were saying, but if you can fix this one thing about the plan, where do I sign? Nick, if you can get me a better monthly premium, here's my money. Nick, if you can get me a plan that has RX prescription coverage in it, I'm signing, right? So don't view these no's as a scary thing. We want to get these no's, and we want to answer them with positivity. Be assertive, be confident, guys, right? And that's coming right here, right? You got to display confidence and deliver assurance. And so again, that's not a problem. We're going to take care of that for you, right? Letting the client know that you can shop all of the carriers and plans out there. Look, there's not a carrier plan out there that I'm not going to find for you, right? It's just about doing some research with you and making sure that we get you in the exact right one for your family's needs. So big, guys. But we have to be confident in that. And again, that's where it's so important to keep your mind right and keep your mind positive, is then you'll be able to overcome these objections easier on those phone calls, right? So important, guys. All right, and then the last slide here, guys, we're going to go into the pre-close. Okay, the pre-close is probably the part of the sale that more brokers mess up than anything as you're getting started, right? The first thing with a pre-close, the number one most important thing with the pre-close, this starts before you even dial the customer. Assume the sale. People don't understand this, guys. When they hear assume the sale, they're thinking at the end of it that I've done my job and I'm assuming the sale. No, guys, this is a way of life mentality, okay? Assuming the sale means before you even get on the phone with this customer, when that phone is ringing, I'm already assuming that this customer is buying from me. You know why? I can shop every carrier and plan out there, and I'm really just here to help them make the best decision for their family. Why wouldn't they want to buy from that, right? And so I'm assuming the sale before that customer even says hello on that phone, and that's going to impact every little thing I say on that phone because I already know they're buying from me. The bottom of my heart, I already know they're buying from me. So this whole thing's just a conversation, right? So important there, guys, okay? In your pre-close, when you are describing the plan that we have put together, we always need to lead with the positives while addressing the pain that we uncovered, right? So again, guys, that's talking about, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, I know we were talking about on that previous plan you guys had, you said it was just way too expensive monthly. I've gone ahead, I've cut those costs in half for you monthly. Okay, so you were looking at paying about $850 a month. We're down to about $500 a month here. So really good plan. We saved a ton of money for you guys. You remember those RX benefits you talked about? Cool thing with this plan is there are some prescription copays in here. And we're gonna lock in your price for 3 years here. This is a United Tri-Term. You see how easy that is, guys? How positive that was on the plan that we're describing to our customer here, while addressing the issues that they just told us about. Guys, the customer's already like, where do I sign, right? You addressed everything I needed you to address, Nick. So it's so important, guys, that we are asking the right questions, uncovering that pain, because if you uncover the right pain, when you're presenting the plan, that's a wrap. Presenting the plan is just telling them, hey, I listened to you, and this is what's going to really help you and your family, right? And then the last thing, guys, you hear this all the time in sales. Don't be afraid to ask, right? Now, this goes a couple different ways, okay? The first thing is kind of in assuming that sale. If you've done your right job uncovering the pain, and you've led with the pain and the positives in that sale, or in the pre-sale where you're describing your plan, it's already a done deal, guys. So even the ask, I even changed that a little bit, right? I have some brokers like, so did you want to go ahead and get this plan today? Or guys, if you've done your job in addressing all of their issues, presenting the plan with the positives first, doing all of that right, it's not even as much asking about that. It's just about saying, okay, so are you going to want to pay with this with a credit card or a bank account today? It's just going straight into that, right? It just goes straight into the application. I mean, that is when I'm telling you assume the sale, guys, we're assuming that we did our job so well. After we've presented the plan, we already know they're eating it up, right? And so it's literally just jumping right into the sale. So when we have presented the whole plan, cool. Okay, and the spelling of your first and last name was, all right, and I just need to confirm this was the right email. Cool. You just jump right into the app, guys. If you did your job, your customer will tell you no, right? And don't be afraid to ask, did I hit everything on the head here? Did I miss the mark in some way? But don't be afraid to ask is also a fun one when you're doing follow-up calls, right? Guys, not enough brokers do this. Hey, Mr. Miss Customer, I was looking over your file. I just want to make sure that you got all of your health insurance cards, everything like that in the mail. Did you receive all that yet? Awesome, awesome. So look, while I was looking over your file, I was like, do you have teeth? We didn't do anything with dental, you know? Guys, 50-50 shot. They're going to say, oh my God, Nick, yeah, I need help with dental insurance. They're going to say, no big deal. They're already your customer, right? No harm, no foul. So don't be afraid to ask, guys. That's so important. And just toss it out there. It's a really good strategy to use, especially on your follow-up after you've gotten a customer, that not enough people do. What are they going to do? Say, since you asked me about dental, I'm canceling my whole plan. No, they never do that. Half the time you get an extra sale, half the time you don't. Cool. So important, guys. All right, guys, so that was this week's Motivation Monday. We are getting really close to open enrollment, right? We got about a month until AEP and a month and a half till open enrollment here. So hopefully you guys are getting prepped, getting wound up for that. Guys, this was Trainer Nick again. I hope you guys have a wonderful week here. Happy Motivation Monday. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, email training@ahcpsales.com. You can call agency services at 877-228-8773. I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful week. Kill it out there.